However, they went far south of 25A across the railroad tracks where that DEC unique area is, where they allow bow hunting. All of that was the state hospital, part of the Kings County psychiatric place. And that had an angle to it that went out to Indian Head Road. And they also bought 30 acres on Old Comac Road down near the MSF, very detached from the rest of it. So they bought that stuff, and the people who lived in the area were not happy about this. The Smithtown residents filed some form of petitions to stop it from happening. They really can't, under New York state laws. Governments are allowed to open institutions in other governmental areas, normally, not always, but normally, especially then. So they started in 1885, and that's where I'll begin here, somewhere. Okay, just quickly, here's a map, just for orientation. Up here's the bluff. This is the Nisqually River. San Remo's over here. The high school, the post office, Parks Department, Jewish Center. The business district is up in here. The railroad station, fire department. We're right here. RJO, William T. Rogers Middle School. This is Charter Oaks. St. John's up here. The Sunken Meadow Parkway over here. So, any questions on orientation? Okay, so the purple is kind of what we think of as the Psych Center today. Now, either known as Nisqually River State Park or parkland managed by Nisqually River State Park, the purple area. But look, as I said, they went all the way down past the railroad, over to Indian Head Road, and then these 30 acres near where the Hagsons used to live. If anybody ever heard of the Hagsons. But way out that way, about a mile from the rest of it. They also owned, surrounding what today is the Catholic Church in Kelly Court. As I was saying, they owned where we're right here. And they also, as I said last time, they owned where Thompson Street and Henry Street is, Renwick Avenue and Carlson. All of those farms were purchased. However, at that time, I didn't draw it here, they didn't buy the waterfront up near the bluff, and they didn't buy a couple of farm pieces in here where the Jewish Center and the Parks Department are. When they first started, about 1886, they built a lot of wood frame buildings, small. Well, they're small compared to the big brick buildings we're familiar with over there. They called them cottages. This one's Cottage I. They built about, I think, around 16. Some were for males, some were for females. A couple or something were for staff. And the cottages looked like this, which to me seems like an extravagant thing for a cottage. Sorry?
Where would they have been located?
Oh, good question. They were located right around where Building 93, that's the big signature building of the state hospital, is. And across the boulevard from that, where Building 90, most people don't know that one, but it's a red brick building across the street. Right. So interestingly, they had all of this acreage. They didn't build by the railroad station. They didn't build closer to the water. They didn't build on Indian Head Road. They picked right by St. John Road, not by 25A. As I said last time, there was no 25A in the 1800s. It was just a town road. But this is an aerial photo, well, sort of an aerial photograph. It was taken from a smokestack. This is what they looked like in about 1925, some of them. The big building, Building 93, got built right up here. I think it's interesting, when you look at the little road network, they kind of crisscross. It's almost like each building is like one building per block. And each road looks like it's about 1 lane wide. But anyway, neat Victorian Queen Anne style houses. The view a little further away, just for orientation. The bluff is right over here. The boat basin, the marina, is over in here. St. John Road comes down that way. The soccer fields today is in here. picture where that is. So the cottages, again, this was what, 1925. Most of them were still there at that time. This was about half, and then there were another half on the other side of the boulevard. I just think it's neat, all of the detail that they put into these things. If you could kind of imagine the two white buildings on the boulevard that were built in the 80s, they're kind of like cheap versions of the ones that were built in the 100 years earlier. These have much more gingerbread and fancy roofs and all that sort of stuff.
They don't look very secure, though.
Excuse me?
They don't look very secure.
In terms of bars on the windows, kind of
Yeah.
thing? I guess. But
Well, again, it was probably to bring them out into the country to have a place to live, to try to rid them of their mental illness, so it was more to be built like a place in the country.
yeah, I'm not sure too what, as time went on, you had people like maximum security kind of people, maybe they weren't classified back then, I'm not sure.
Right. They probably weren't criminally insane, just
Maybe,
strange.
maybe people didn't catch on and invent bars till a little bit later. This is a view across the river. The river's here, the village of Municipal's over there. I just thought it's an interesting close-up view of the architecture. Then, in 1893, the first big buildings